Hello, hello, and welcome to the first official episode of Billionaire Witch, Expanded Abundance for the Magical Healers of Earth podcast. Oh my, this podcast of mine, it's gone through many iterations, and Billionaire Witch has been wanting to be birthed for some time now, and I've just been busy behind the scenes processing the last residual energies from my time of healing from the witch wound. And I find it's very interesting, and I'm just going to choose some crystals as I'm talking, as I do. Big Black. Big Black Tourmaline wants to be here. Yeah, so healing from the witch wound, it's a very deep, very expansive healing. It can feel very uncomfortable as memories from those past lives can, kind of show up again, whether in your consciousness, energetically. You might feel it emotionally. On very rare occasions, someone might feel something physically. I did have a client once when we were working with the witch wound tell me that they had a memory of being cut in half, and that it was very uncomfortable to even have that awareness, because they could feel what it felt like. And I understand. When I was really going through several months of healing from the results of the witch wound, I had vivid memories of different ways in which I was killed and tortured, and it's interesting. Like, if you're me and you just know energy, and you can tell what's happening energetically as different things come up, then it makes it easier. It doesn't make it fun, and it doesn't make it feel great, but it makes it a lot easier to know, okay, this too shall pass, and here's why this is happening, and here's what it was connected to, and the reason you're feeling it right now is because it has come up for healing, and it's being processed and getting ready to be released. Sometimes it's still a pain in the booty, but booty patootie. I signed up for it in this lifetime. This little feather wanted to come be with us. I think it's from a robin. I think. Renewal. Yeah. And interestingly enough, and please note that this doesn't necessarily need to happen for everyone in order for you to heal from the witch wound. But mine got a jump start when I accidentally tripped over this outdoor puppy gate thing that we had when I was taking, and our dogs were puppies at the time. I had been manically, potty training them outside. And this one night it was like the second to last night of December of 2021. And it was, I live in Chicagoland, or in the surrounding area, and our weather is always quite interesting. So it's the middle of winter. Well, I mean, technically, winter starts December 21st, but it had been raining and snowing. And where I had the little baby gate area is sort of where I was taking them out to put them down to potty train. And so I carried Minerva out. At that point, the puppies were getting bigger, and I couldn't carry them both out at the same time. Um, and it was in a part of the yard, silly me, in a part of the yard that didn't have great lighting. And it was about 11 o'clock at night for like their final potty or whatever. And yeah, it was muddy from the rain and snow, slippery, muddy, dark. I couldn't really see what I was doing. And the boots I put on, I had only kind of zipped them up halfway, so they were kind of flapping. It was just very poor planning on my part. However, so I tripped over the dang gate and I landed on my right side, and it was not good. I'm 100% sure that nothing was broken, except for energetically, but it was very bruised and very sore from the top of my right hip all the way down to my right foot, with my ankle having taken the brunt of the fall. And so anyway, long story short is receiving that injury on my right hand side, and it's all the major injuries that I've ever gotten in my life have all been on the right hand side. And in energy work and maybe Chinese medicine, I think traditional Chinese medicine, they say the right hand side is your sort of more masculine projective side, like how you put yourself out in the world, and your left hand side is your more feminine receptive side. Or if you don't want the gender thing, just projective, receptive, right? It doesn't matter. It's just sort of just two halves of you, the yin and the yang of you, of your energies and how they flow. So, not surprisingly, I've always had a challenge with, you know, um, putting myself out in the world in various ways. And yet until I've always done it and continue to do it. But it's always, in various ways felt very scary to me. And that was actually part of the witch wound. Like if you put your gifts out there and share your truth and share your energy, you'll be in trouble and you'll get punished and you'll get hurt and you'll get tortured and you'll get killed or imprisoned or put in the insane asylum and on and on and on. So, but I mean, like I'm an artist I have been an artist in several areas of art: dance, pantomime, singing, songwriting, poetry writing, fiction writing, painting, drawing. I mean, creative expression extraordinaire. Did I say dance? I think I did. I think that was my first one. Yeah. And then when I had the realization that I was a healer, and then eventually underwent my shamanic training in this lifetime. I've been a shaman in several lifetimes. Then like the dance and the creative expression and the, intuitive drawing and the singing, which led to my sound healing, vocal sound healing codes, and all of that, it came, nicely together. And so I continued to put myself out there as my true self, my healer self, my magical healer self. And anyway, so as the right side of my body was energetically broken open by this fall and this injury, and I couldn't really do much, get around that well while I was healing. So I had a lot of time on my hands to feel things. But you got to feel it to heal it. And so what I realized, and yeah, oh my God, I was just releasing rage and anger and grief and sadness and sorrow and fear. And I mean, and I, luckily, knowing energy like I do, I was like, okay, this is like from every lifetime where I was ever harmed or killed as a witch, spiritual teacher, oracle, channel, shamanic practitioner, whatever, all the things that I am. And this is all of that wound energy being processed and released. And I knew it. And I was like, okay, and this is all happening now because I've broken so much open on the right-hand side that everything that was still keeping me in fear, in as much as I was putting myself out there, I still always had this fear, and I still held a lot of myself back. So all of that had to be cleansed out of the broken energetic area in order for me to come back into balance and to really build a more solid foundation for being visible as a magical witchy healer of Earth. A witch, a shaman, a channel. And so that happened. So it took several months of 2022, for all of that to kind of purge out, and then, man, 2023, we began a rollicking good time, a full year of this group cohort that channeled through me called the Money Miracle. And then it kept changing its name, as things tend to do with me. But and that transformed into, over time, what it is now is Billionaire Witch Money Freedom Creators. So with all of these new energies and tools and vibrations and beautiful things that have been channeling through me ever since we began. And a fresh new year is going to be starting there in the Money Freedom Creators group cohort soon. I'll be announcing that soon. But what I realized is, even though I healed from the witch wound, then the underlying was able to come out, which was the energetic residue of the results I experienced from having the witch wound in the first place. So there was still these sticky little residual energies that needed to go, that were also tied up into fear of visibility. And so I processed all of that. And then I thought, okay, but confound it, I'm still feeling scared to go full steam ahead with all of these beautiful business things that have been channeling through me, that they're all coming, but it's taking so freaking long. I was like, what is going on? I healed from the witch wound. I processed the residual energy. Give me a freaking break already. Magic land. and then because so I was still holding myself back, and I know that that's just a learned behavior, a learned pattern that was like a security blanket, so that I wouldn't put myself out there too much. I'll put myself out there, but I'll hold a lot of it back, because showing more magic will get me wounded again, which is a lie in this lifetime. We're here to be seen and share our gifts and speak our truth and be the healing that we want to see on earth, that lots of people want to see on earth. We are literally the creators of heaven on earth. That is our destiny in this lifetime. So I thought, I know all this stuff. Okay, I want to go out, I want to do it. And it's like, there was still So, and another piece that had come in is that I realized that healers as a whole, and at least especially the ones in my soulmate client tribe, have had a really challenging time. They'll put themselves out there like me, a little bit, but the biggest challenge has been around creating a viable wealthy source of income that's sustainable, that, from sharing our gifts out in the world, even though I know with my entire body and being that is what we are here to do. We're not only here to create heaven on earth, but we're here to become the stewards of humongously bountiful amounts of wealth, including and in the form of money and all that we desire. And this has been channeling through me for years. Like, I know that that's the truth. That's the truth of our divinely aligned birthright. But again, in order to do that, in order to have this expanded new way of being that is able to be the steward of humongous amounts of wealth, billions, if you will, we have to have the solid base, the solid foundation. I'm talking energetically, emotionally, soul level, in the mind and in the body. It has to all be able, it being the wealth that we're here to receive and steward, it has to be able to land in what feels like a safe place and a happy place. Money wants to be in a happy place. It really does. And we're the ones who know how to be that happy place for money. So it's like this big shift is happening. And I receive more and more information, keeps channeling through me every day about this, I guess I don't want to say how we go about doing it, but sort of, yeah. Like how do we create ourselves to be this solid, happy place platform, right? For large amounts of wealth. Because when money is in the hands of healers, it goes to the good, right? So in order to do that as well, leading into the rest of my story here, we need to become radical receivers. We need to let go of any receiving blocks that we had in place, again, to keep us safe. Because they being the non-healers, the people afraid of their own power, fed us with these lies, these teachings of, healers spiritual people shouldn't make money, healers shouldn't have money, healers shouldn't charge for their services. I'm like, that is so stupid. And I can laugh about it now, but it's like really the silliest thing I've ever heard, because healing is our career. Like, other people have careers and they get to receive money. We get to as well. I stand for the empowered, prosperous healer. Hence the name Billionaire Witch. And yeah, like, we've got to become the expanded platform and solid base and solid foundation for the wealth we are about to receive. And so back to, and I've been working also on the receiving side. So the injury, my big injury, was on the right-hand side, which is the projective, how you put yourself out in the world side. And I had to heal from all that. And then I still wasn't putting myself out in the world. Well, guess what happened over the weekend? I hurt myself on my left side. Not anything like the fall of December 2021. Nothing like that, but just a little banged up and bruised. I just sort of lost my balance and kind of whacked different parts of my left side into like the sort of the corner where the door jamb and the door frame is, but like the ouch, the sharp corner, and I sort of, it was like a ricochet, like bang, ooh, ow, what happened? Lost my balance, crazily enough, walking over a baby gate. Surprise, surprise. But I was just really sleepy, and it happened so fast, I didn't even know what happened until I was like, ow, I can walk. I'm walking taking the dogs out, walking the dogs. I'm fine, but it's sore. And I said, oh my God, I know why this happened. And again, for other people, you don't have to get hurt in order to heal your witch wound and heal your receiving. It just happens to me like that, so that it like gets pounded into my head. This is what's happening, and this is why. Luckily, I heal really fast from things. So, and that's another reason why this can happen to me this way. Although I've asked for future occasions, can I please get my realizations and aha moments and vibrational upgrades in ways where I don't have to whack my, whack parts of my body and have black and blue marks like on my elbow. And the answer is yes. Like this was the last time that I designed it to be physical, But so it's like, okay, now I'm energetically broken open to heal any residue of receiving blocks. And that's that for the way my energy works, that is sort of the last puzzle piece in creating my my happy place for money. And because it's not like I've never made money, or figured out cool ways to have more flowing in. I have, but it's never stayed fully sustainable. Well, I shouldn't even say that. It's been sustainable, but like I haven't energetically and emotionally and mentally and physically been ready to have the amount of money, there we go, expand into what I've been shown in visions that it will expand into. The more I create the happy place for money. And that's such a cute phrase. It's never channeled through me before this podcast episode. So yeah, that's my little story, and it's a pretty cool big story actually, because the more I experience and receive information about our creation of our empowered Money Steward platforms, the more I can share with you guys, and and the more I can really start inviting from a space of being grounded and feeling safe to be visible, the more I can start inviting people into my woo Money Freedom Creators cohort. Woo woo. Yeah, and like I said, that's coming very soon. And now that I'm something kind of really locked into place just today, since my left side was broken open energetically, and I'm released all of those receiving blocks that may have been residually residing. This necklace of many gems wanted to just come say hi. Ooh. It's very helpful. All right, my loves. So I'm really interested to hear of your experiences with my story, if it sparked anything for you, if you've noticed anything similar going on. And I'm just so happy to have you in my realm. I love you. Until next time.